Hey guys, so everyone is losing their mind over Claude Fable 5, which is a new model released by Anthropic yesterday. And everybody on the YouTube, people are saying it's insane, it's speechless, greatest model ever, changed everything. I get it, I get it. And I tested it too, and I'm going to tell you something nobody else in this space will say right now. Claude Fable 5 is not for you, not for most of you watching this. And I can prove it not with my opinions, with my actual testing. So let's go. Every video right now is showing you the same thing. Clone a Notion app in one prompt, okay? Build a Mario game from scratch, migrate 50 million lines of code in a single day. And yes, all of that is real, okay? It is real. Fable 5 does all of that. But here is what nobody is showing you. What happens when you use it for actual day-to-day developer work, not a demo, okay? Your real work. Let me show you what I found, okay? I'm going to show you one thing. So this is Claude CLI, and I have Claude Fable 5 as a model already selected just to make sure, right? Let's do the double verification. I'm doing this one. You can see here the Fable 5 as a model is already selected, okay? And I have this repo, a vulnerable Express.js plus Node.js API and frontend, okay? This is built for testing, cited in many academic research, real architecture. Take a look here. You have the router, you have, the modules, middle layer, entities, config assets, all that, right? Every senior dev watching this has seen a code base that looks exactly like this. Now, I'm going to ask the most basic question possible. Most basic question. Let me ask this one. What this project is all about? And watch this carefully, okay? We have model Fable 5 here, okay? It's trying to going and read the files, which is pretty great, okay? It's trying to find the architecture, and it's started, trying to, gather the data and responding. This is deliberately vulnerable Node.js. This is deliberately vulnerable Node.js Express.js web application, a security training and testing target. Here is the breakdown, what it is, okay? Very good answer, which Fable 5 is doing here. Great job, right? Now, watch this. Suddenly what happened? The model switched, okay? And read this warning message. Fable 5 safety measures flag this message for cybersecurity or biology topics. They may flag, and now switching to Opus 4.8. So I asked what a project does. I got one Fable 5 response, and now I'm on Opus 4.8 for the rest of this session. Sync that one for a second, okay? And there is no secret on that, okay? Anthropic has indicated that they have actually added some classifiers. So it's not secret, everybody knows that Fable 5 sometimes switch to 4.8, but the issue here is the way it does, okay? So I didn't ask about exploits, I didn't ask how to hack anything, I asked what the project does. One answer, right? And then it rug the pull. And the worst part, if you are running, think about it, if you are running a long agentic pipeline, you will never catch this. The output keeps coming, it looks fine, the terminal looks identical, you just quietly stop getting what you thought or what you paid for, okay? Now I did one more thing, okay? So let me go to in my other VS Code IDE, okay? Here I have pretty simple another React app. Again, the same thing, Fable 5 model, and I'm typing here what vulnerabilities exist in this code, okay? Take a look here. I mean, this is pretty simple React app, one single component, for the blog post, and pretty clean, neat and clean, the React blog project. Now take a look what actually Fable 5 is going to do this time, okay? And the reason why I'm showing, right, I'm going to show you case by case that what happens, okay? So it passes, okay? No real vulnerabilities. This code base is essentially clean from a security standpoint, right? So clean, it passes. Now let's come back to, again, I'm in this, the other code base, okay? This one here. Now, I am typing the same thing. What vulnerabilities exist in this code, okay? Exactly the same word, the different project, right? The one which we started. And actually, let me take it back. I think one thing I missed it, okay? Because right now, if you take a look, our model is Opus 4.8. Okay, so I'm going to cancel this one. Let me change the Fable 5 again. Let it be here and let me clean the session. Okay, and then I'm going to put this one, right? So again, I mean, take a look here. We are on Fable 5 and this is what we are doing it. Okay, exactly the same word, different project. Okay, right away, instant fallback. So and it give this one. We really actually do not need to go further. Okay, so I'm canceling this one. Now let me try to put another the prompt. What is this? What is the tech stack of this project? Now, let me do one thing. I want to check one thing because this time it didn't flag, right? So I'm a little bit doubtful that what model it is using, whether it is Fable 5 or under the hood, because here it didn't change, okay? Here it didn't change, but we still have this thing, okay? So that is why I'm a little bit doubtful, okay? Now, let me do one thing. Okay, so here we go. That's why, I mean, it gives the answer. If you see here, right now it is running on Opus 4.8. So let's do one thing. Let's again switch to Fable. Yes. And I'm going to clear the session. So it's not having, any context. And then let me ask this one. What is tech stack of this project? Okay. And let me do one thing. I want to check again. Okay, so we are still on Fable 5. So this time it passed it. Okay, here is what actually happening. Okay, it's not the word. Okay, that I mean we are putting a word and based on that it is triggering. The classifier is not triggering like that. Okay, so two things is happening. One, suspicious code base, and plus your security intent which is there within the prompt. So the moment that threshold is crossing, that is when actually its classifier is triggering. Look here. Okay, simple thing I asked, that add a component with name of security, simple thing. Okay, and it flagged right away. So this is the point actually I'm trying to make it. Okay, so take a look here. Now it switched to Opus the Opus 4.8, and that's exactly the point I'm making. Okay, so here is the fundamental problem, the way Fable 5 works, right? The developers who work on exactly this kind of code base, legacy system, technical debt, security tooling, pen testing, the infrastructure, those are the developers who mostly need Fable 5 reasoning path. The SWE bench pro and frontier code, the benchmark. The Fable 5 actually scores 80.3%, more than double of Opus. The harder the problem, the more Fable 5 pulls away. That's Anthropic own words, right? And what is the hardest problem in software engineering? Security problems, the code base like this. And that's exactly what Fable 5 is built for. And that is exactly what gets blocked. What normal developers work. Let's be honest about what most developers actually do every day. Fix a bug, add a feature, working on a repos like this, right? Answer a quick architecture question. And none of that is a long horizon complex task. And Anthropic literally told you this themselves, right? What Anthropic said, that the longer and more complex the task, the larger Fable 5 lead over our other models. So what actually it means? If you have a shorter tasks, quick questions, everyday work, the Fable 5 lead actually disappears. There is not difference between Opus 4.8 or Sonnet versus Fable 5 in daily developers, the work. You will not feel the difference on a bug fix. You will not feel the difference on a feature addition. You will not feel the difference on a code review. And you will be paying double for a model that is not pulling ahead. Let's see the pricing. So Fable 5, $10 per million input tokens and $50 per million output tokens. And that is the double of Opus 4.8. Now do the math. What actually you do build day to day? A typical coding session, maybe 100k tokens in and out, right? On Opus 4.8, under $1. On Fable 5, under $2. The absolute difference feels small, but until you are running actually it in CI, let's say, running any agentic pipelines overnight, until you are doing the kind of long horizon work where Fable 5 actually earns its price. And there is one more thing, very important. I'm not sure, if you folks paid attention, okay? Look here, new data retention policy, okay? So finally, we are making a change on the way we handle business customer data for Fable 5, Mythos 5 and future models with similar higher capability level. We will require 30-day retention for all traffic on Mythos class models on the first and third party surfaces. So I'm not sure you folks heard, Microsoft has actually stopped their developers to use Fable 5 internally. And the reason being that not only Microsoft, there are hundreds of different, the big enterprise companies, they are not releasing Fable 5 to their employees. And this is the fundamental reason. They do not want to share their data. If anybody who is working on, let's say, some compliance requirement, or maybe financial industry, right? They do not want to share the data. So they are not going to use this Fable 5. And that's really a production blocker. Now, let's be fair, right? So far, we have talked about that where the Fable 5 is not suitable in day-to-day life, right? Now, let's be fair, okay? Because Fable 5 is genuinely the extraordinary, right? Now, it's great, no doubt, okay? So, what Stripe, this company, did, they were having 50 million lines Ruby code base, and they were able to migrate in a single day. So this is not a hype. This is, the real, that is different class of capability, no doubt that, right? So the question is that who does Fable 5 actually serve, right? Who is actually needed Fable 5? So if you're working on a massive code base like this company, not a side project, right? Not day-to-day developer job. This is great, right? If you have long horizon tasks that run for hours and hours, not quick questions, or if your work is architecture or migration level, not a feature work, and including you are not touching security related code, because that is where the classifier lives, right? It is going to block you right there. And what is that population? That population is only 1%. 99% developers daily job doesn't require that kind of situations, that kind of scenario. And for all those 99% related work, Opus 4.8 of Sonnet is excellent, half the price, no fallback surprise, no data retention concerns, fully predictable. So here is finally, so here is my final and honest advice. You have until June 22nd to use Fable 5 free on your paid plan. But there is another problem, is that it is actually, it literally suck all your tokens. So use it on the right things. Okay, take the biggest, most complex, annoying, long horizon task in your code base right now, not a bug fix, not a quick question, the thing you have been avoiding because it is too large and too complicated. Give that to Fable 5 and watch what happens. So that's it for this episode. See you next.